Up to speed, what did we miss today at the G7?
Well, Secretary Tillerson actually didn't say very much today. He had no public events, but the British Foreign Secretary did give us some information about what to expect. He basically said that Western leaders are considering new sanctions to punish Russian military officials as well as Syrian ones over Syria's behavior. So it's expected that when Secretary Tillerson goes to Moscow on Wednesday, he will bring a much tougher message and the threat of new sanctions to Russia over its alliance with the Syrian regime.
Well, Nick, hang on just one second, because I want to play for you and our audience Rex Tillerson outlining some of his agenda on the Sunday morning talk shows. Let's listen and get your reaction.
That will be part of the discussions when I visit Moscow next week, is to call upon Foreign Minister Lavrov and the Russian government to fulfill the obligation it made to the international community when it agreed to be the guarantor of the elimination of the chemical weapons. And why Russia has not been able to achieve that is unclear to me. I don't draw conclusions of complicity at all, but clearly they've been incompetent, and perhaps they've just simply been outmaneuvered by the Syrians.
Nick, you heard that from Rex Tillerson. He was speaking on the Sunday talk shows. Is there anything that the United States has in terms of leverage to get Russia to do what it wants?
Well, I mean, that's always been the challenge here. Russia regards Syria as just too important an ally to sort of come off of that position in terms of its sort of broader goals and to be a power player in the Middle East. I mean, what you're really seeing is how the Trump administration's policy towards Syria in some ways is shifting back to what the Obama administration was. And the challenge there, it was always sort of the leverage, the or else. So the U.S. would sort of threaten Russia and say, listen, we want you to get off this position, but they really had no way to back it up. I mean, he does have a little bit more authority this time because of those airstrikes. The U.S. showed it was willing to act in a case where it saw its interests as being sort of crossed and Syria's behavior as being too troublesome. So he's sort of got that little bit of extra leverage, the threat of actions in the future. But again, he's sort of running up to the same headwinds that Secretary John Kerry did before January 20th.
Nick, just quickly, what is this really all about? Is this about access to Qatari gas that could be shipped to Europe and the Russians don't want it because they earn their money selling gas to Europe?
I mean, I think the real issue is that this is Russia's toehold in the Middle East. It has two bases in Syria. It has many troops. It's conducting an air campaign there. So to tell Russia to sort of back off what is essentially a client state would really weaken its standing in the Middle East, but also in the world as it sort of seeks to retain its status as a global superpower.
All right.